Share the truth, change life, bring up on a vibe. Hey youth, share the truth, change life, bring up on a vibe. Hey youth, share the truth, change life, bring up on a vibe. Hey youth, share the truth, change life, bring up on a vibe. Hashtag share life, hashtag youth share life, hashtag share life, hashtag youth share life. We've got the questions, we've got the answer. Got some problems, we've got the time. No pot answers, no being shy. Bible truth and no fake news. Talk up the things, them. Hashtag youth share life.
Welcome to hashtag youth share life, show number 3, September 18, 2021. I'm your host, Angel Slack, and with me is my co-host, Denise Hunt-Mixell. And we are the show that records live every month hot topics from the Share magazine. And we produce these programs as we discuss issues that relate to youth. Share magazine is a global Christian publication, and we are a multimedia organization, and we share truth, believing that it needs no defense, and we trust the truth to defend itself. So join us as we take the conversation from off the pages of Share magazine and into your lives. Tonight's topic is marriage, God's idea first. And I'm wearing my tiara, and I've got my bridal bouquet, because who doesn't like a wedding? I'm certainly getting ready for one around here tonight. And Denise, over to you.
I'm excited to see you.
You like my tiara?
It's cute, bad. Oh my goodness, we're getting married in the morning. Can you hear the wedding bells? All right, so hold up your hand if you're married. 1 or 2 or, yeah, okay, cool. And if you're not married, hold up the other hand, because there's so much to learn here tonight from experts, authors, and living beings in this thing we call marriage, right? So let's get started. But listen, before I get carried away, because I'll go on and on and on and on and on. Really have to say hi and hello and blessings to our sponsors, Select Arrow Publishing.
Right, so that's our sponsors, Select Our Publishing. Thank God for them. They underwrite this show. And we're going to go straight into what's inside this issue of Share magazine. Let's take a peep inside. Now, we've been going through the magazine, and we are on the last set of articles that have to do with marriage. So if you haven't read yet, you need to catch up on your reading. So let's go through. So coming up is divorced, who cares? And our statistics shows that not a lot of care is going on for divorced couples in the church. So this article written by Barbara Payne is an excellent read. Please make sure that you hop over to the magazine and you read this if you know persons or yourself needing counsel and advice about how to deal with divorce. Then we have, is common law marriage approved by God? And that was a bit of a hot topic. And that one is written by Terry Jones. And I think it's an excellent read. Please have a look at it. I learned a lot, certainly. World in View, written by myself, looks at emerging trends in sex and marriage around the world. And believe you me, that was an eye-opener. The statistics there are quite interesting, some of them astounding, and definitely a need for prayer. Then we have a poem entry by Errol Bean, Young Man, Love Poem. Really powerful piece of poetry. Please do read. And then Think Film, written by Lacona Glaster, a film review of Greenleaf, the Netflix series about marriage and ministry in the mega church. I didn't watch the whole series. I saw some of it, but Lacona did an excellent job reviewing the entire series. So please, that's a snapshot view of Greenleaf if you didn't get a chance to actually watch it. And then it finishes up with a poem by myself. P.S. It was love. So that's it for a peek inside Share Magazine. Please make sure that you subscribe to Share Magazine. Go over to the sharemagazine.com, #YouthSHARE Live, to get up to date with what's happening with the youth team, and also to find out, what Share Magazine is up to. It's an interesting read. Please subscribe and have it, delivered to your front door, those hard copies. And if you're a digital reader, get it on your tablet, get it on your PC or your phone, or at home in the comfort of your house, put your feet up. So Share Magazine is digital. It's there for you. Please make sure that you subscribe. And we look forward to hearing your comments and hearing from you. That's it for me, Denise.
All right, cool. So hot seat interview time, Angela?
Yep.
Oh, sigh.
The heat again.
All right, just okay. All right, so we have two couples who will be, that's cool. They're being grilled on the hot seat. That's nice. So after the veil has been lifted, the tiara whipped off, the corsages, they're unpinned, the bouquet has been tossed and all the things. The big fluffy wedding dress, if you had one, has been on. The wedding day is over and the marriage begins. The question, folks, is how do you plan to win? How do you plan to win? Well, we'll take a break and we'll hear from the gospel artist Jermaine Blake, who is singing his latest single, I Will.
Let's hear from Jermaine.
I will worship you. I will give you all I am, and I will serve you, Lord. I will seek your face. Your love is amazing. Your love, it captures me. Your name is a mystery. Your name gives liberty. Your blood brings life. Your blood, it sets me free. Your grace, it restores. Your grace forever changes me. Change love. I will worship in me. Thy kingdom come, your will be done. Thy kingdom come,
Thy kingdom come, your will be done.
your will be done. Yeah. Thy kingdom come,
Kingdom come, your will be done.
as in heaven, as in heaven, as in heaven, as in heaven. Yeah. Thy kingdom come, your will be done. I will worship you. I will give you all I am. Hallelujah.
Wow, that was so beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think that's just what we needed to just usher in the presence of the Holy Spirit. Thank you
Yeah.
so much, Jermaine. Well, next is what we've been waiting for, tonight's hot topic. So joining us for our hot topic is our special guest, Jermaine and Devine. And they've been married for just 3 years. Now, the big question that I asked them was, how prepared were they for married life? So as we go into this hot topic section, which is pre-recorded, we recorded it earlier because we could only take so much of that interview. So if you want to see the full interview, you can go over to the YouthSHARE Live Hub and you can watch it there after the program. And then certainly you can share it with your friends to see the complete interview with Jermaine and Devine. Okay, so now for our hot topic interview. You know, what was your concept going into marriage? If I said define marriage, and now what is your definition of marriage?
I never wanted to get married.
Me too.
Wow, I've never heard that from anybody else.
No, I wasn't one of those women praying for no husband. I was dead scared. Scared of man.
Thank you. I did not want to get married. I hated the concept. I appreciated that it was
For others.
from God.
Yeah.
Yes. And my daddy is a pastor. I see married people almost every week. And I just was not, I said, Lord, if anything, I will be just a little nun and go through life.
My words exactly. I'm like, Lord, I'll work for you in your kingdom, do anything you want, but
Thank you. I'm glad somebody can relate because it was just so traumatic, the way how marriages weren't surviving, all of that time.
Yeah, it made me scared.
I was scared too. And when I met Jermaine, I was 20 years old. And we got married and I was 21. And everything. What? Oh my gosh, look at that.
Interesting.
Very. Oh. And the way how things happened, when I met him, I knew he was my husband. When he met me, he knew I was his wife. And it was very interesting. He booked me for a shoot because he was doing music, but he wanted me to be a stylist and possibly the video vixen because I used to model. Yeah, you wanted me to model in the video, right? Yeah. So that was why we started talking. And on the day when he messaged me, he asked me if I was on campus because I used to go to Edna Manley. He used to go to Edna Manley too, but he had graduated long before I went there. So he was, like long before? A year before. You went long before. And when I was in class that day and I just saw a message coming on my business page, I was there messaging and he was talking about the video and he was actually saying that he's about to perform on campus. So I was like, okay. But I was asking him where on campus and then he told me music school. I didn't tell him I was coming over to him. So someone was like, Gavin, get up at the class and just walk over there. I didn't tell him I was coming. So I went around and asked them if they knew a Jeremy and somebody was there and I asked them for the person. And they showed me where he was. So I just stood there, saw a little room and I saw that he was in there, but it seemed like he was praying or something. So the Holy Spirit said to me, don't say anything, just stand at the door and wait till he sees you. And I just stood there. I never know him. I just see him. I was like, okay, I never like him like that or anything. I just stand up there, And what happened, babe? You tell that story.
No, when I saw her lifting up my eyes and I saw her, I just leaped forward and hugged her.
He jumped. He did not leap. He jumped. He jumped towards
just like that, Jermaine.
Sorry?
You just hugged her like that?
Yeah, I didn't know. It was the first time, officially meeting her. I was like,
he was hugging me like.
That's rather bold. So definitely weren't you
just like that
thinking about like boys got me
I was like I hugged. I was in shock. And then the hug, it was a long hug. It wasn't like a hug and let go. It was a long hug and his head was on my shoulder. And I was like, what is happening? And then I just hugged him back. And I just hugged him back. And I was like, even when we let go, like the both of us were looking at each other like.
It felt right. Strange.
Yeah. And when I left him around there, I went to my lecturer, who is like a spiritual father to me too.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, sir, I think I just met my husband. Exact words. And that was it. We didn't even know when we were boyfriend and girlfriend. It just happened.
We don't
have a starting date.
So based on those two experiences then, how would you then in those early days, how would you have defined what marriage is?
Yeah. Marriage is a relationship between him, my wife, and myself. And it's a covenant indeed. And he cares about it. It's his highest representation of what is also to come and what it used to be in the beginning. Jesus told us, what it was. He said, this is the way it used to be in the beginning. It was between a man and a woman. And I believe he's the center of that relationship. He defines it. Let me tell you, I almost went to jail one night. I was involved in a relationship where I stepped away from God, and I was living with this young lady, and God showed me that vision to basically get my attention. It turned out that God started wanting or battling for his position in my life.
Yes, because you were cheating on God.
I was. Thank you. Yes, I love that. So, not the action, but I love that what you said. So, God. One night I was sitting there in the room, and the young lady was asleep. Her phone was on the bed, and it was closed. It was an iPhone. And the Holy Spirit said to me, I heard that voice audibly. take up the phone, which is the young lady's phone, and I took it up. It was closed and I did not know the password. So I was like, God, what is it you want me to see? As I was holding the phone just burst open. The screen opened, no password enter. It was when I saw it, I was frightened. I almost threw the phone. I saw the phone just open, and when it opened, it went right to a WhatsApp message between the young lady and another guy. And when I saw the message, she was having an affair with the other guy. So
you must have felt like a fool twice over.
Fool. Yes, I did. And I tapped her and I said to her, I showed her and I said, when were you going to tell me this? I said, okay, we have to, break up. That's it. And I'm not the typical guy that's going to do anything or try to come at you or beg you or whatever. You didn't tell me about this, and if it was not for the Holy Spirit, I wouldn't know. So I said, we're through. 2 weeks, the young lady said I couldn't get her. I can't tell her to leave the place. She isn't going to leave and go anywhere. And so I said, no, you can't have an affair with the next guy. I want to live with me and be with me. So I have to make my life open now and available. I have to go looking for my wife because it's not going to work with her. She said it was an argument. She's not leaving. And so she attacked me. One day, a couple of days after that, she attacked me. And when she attacked me, I, defended myself. I didn't hit back or anything like that. I just held. And she was, vicious. And I said, all I asked you for is to leave. That's all. And I gave her time. Long and short, she started making calls and say, hey, this guy hit me. And
so she reported you for bodily harm.
Yes, she started telling everybody lies, and I thought about it. What got me in that position in the first place? What led to her cheating? And I remember saying to her that I don't want to have any premarital sex. I wanted to change my life, and I thought she would be glad. I thought she would be okay. As in my mind, every female wanted that. And that was what led to her.
But she was not a godly woman, so that will not be her values.
Exactly, that's true. So I was like, God, you are the one who, I was trying to live for, and all of this happened. So what's next? And and I was like, after she left that night, the whole place just felt free. The atmosphere felt breathable. I was, and I was sitting there and feeling okay, my life is okay now. I don't want to see any more females for a good while. But guess what? The Lord, His Spirit walked into my room and I heard this. What you have experienced is to teach you why I said no sex before marriage. And I was just there listening on the chair and I said, what is this? What is, I started somewhat getting afraid. And I hear the Lord said, you gave her money. You gave her shelter. You gave her food. You gave her clothes. You gave her love, attention, everything. Now in my mind, I'm thinking that the next thing I'm going to hear is, well done. But I hear God said to me, just as you have given this woman everything, and she has done you wrong, it's the same way in which I have given you everything. I've been the perfect husband to you, and you have done me wrong. I fell on my knees at that moment.
You must have felt as small as an ant.
Flat on my face, and I started saying, God, I started crying because I was like, how could I have done this to you? I felt the heartbreak that she had left in me, but immediately mine left because I started feeling God's heartbreak. And God started explaining to me that His concept and definition of marriage is so different from what most people see. If I cannot learn to be in a marriage with Him, I will never be in a marriage with anybody else in the right way. It hit me.
Wow.
I started understanding. I said, oh, God, that's why you say no sex before marriage. That's why you say, because we have to spend that quality, intimate time with him. He wants it.
Yes.
I said, okay, that's why you do all of these things to me so that I can learn how to do them for her. That's why you approach me and handle certain situations the way you do. It started hitting me. Wisdom started coming to me, and I said, I repented. I repented of all of that. And I said, God, it's really a relationship that you're after
Yes.
with me, not the rituals. And God showed me, yes.
So now,
He's after my heart. So that's the definition of marriage right there. It's a relationship that has to have him in it first. And then it's between me and her.
Mm, 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 mm. Turn on your microphone, Angie. Oh my good, turn on your mic. Oh my goodness.
I was saying, don't play with God, Anthony. He's a jealous God.
Listen.
Literally, you know.
I am inviting myself and everybody to go and watch the rest of that interview, because there's so much light and love coming from that couple, and just so much joy, and that's such a great experience that both of them had
Yes.
to lead to each other. All right, we want to learn the rest of it. Okay. All right, but now
Feel the glow.
pretty good interview. I'm excited to see the rest of it. Okay, so let's bring on Sian Smith from Canada. Sian, where are you? Somewhere. Okay.
I'm here. Hi, everybody. How y'all doing?
Hey, how are you, sir?
Hey, I'm doing pretty good. Thanks for having me.
Oh, love the accent. Love the whole setup and the vibe. I see that you're ready. Welcome to our monthly little hangout as we talk truth. Excited to have you. So, you're a counselor, psychologist in couples and family therapy. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm former pastor for 16 years. I'm just qualifying to be a psychologist, but right now I'm a psychotherapist and a Canadian certified counselor.
Nice, nice. Well, all right, let's jump into it. So, based on your counseling experience, do you agree with the Blakes that the church? Well, let me not ask you that first. Let me ask you this: you were pastor before, so is it that your clientele that you're looking at now, would they be of the church or no?
Yeah, it's the church and the broader community.
Okay, all right. So let's talk about the part of that little bit that we heard. What would be the biggest challenge in couples getting together?
Well, I want to commend. Thanks for the question. I want to commend the Blakes. Is that their correct last name, Blakes?
Yes, yes.
I want to commend the Blakes for the willingness to come and to be so transparent and share with us their experience. As he was speaking, it just resonated with me that when couples meet, a lot of times it's not the meeting, because he talked about they felt that that immediate connection. And most couples will start that way. What normally gets us in marriage, it's not the connection, it's the context. And so most of us, we fall in love, we find someone we like, but then can we work with, their stuff from childhood and the present financial situation and all of the externals. And sometimes it's all of the externals that drowned out that intimate connection that they feel. And all of a sudden now the problems become more than they love. And so I was really appreciative of him saying that, and glad that connection at first was there. A lot of times when that isn't there, the relationship becomes extremely hard to work. The second thing he said is that the marriage is between him, God, him and his wife. And when you go back to Genesis chapter 2, God was engaged with Adam way before Eve came on the scene. So I always tell people, if you want to have a healthy relationship, if the man does not enjoy dwelling in the presence of God, you're in for trouble. And so, and so we see that pattern. And then just on a quick side note, I normally say to the ladies that, you know, from a Christian perspective, you know, you are not an afterthought. You were not just brought into the situation because God didn't have any choice. I always like to point out to them that even though Adam was in this beautiful environment with all the gold and the animals, and God himself was there, God was not enough for him. And so you ladies are God's most beautiful creation, and you should not expect any treatment other than the best. And so if
Thank
anybody
you.
wants to
Thank
be
you
with
so
you
much.
that will not treat you with respect and dignity, they don't deserve you. And so Adam had a job before Eve came on. He had a plan. He had business. He had his stuff together. So, ladies, fall in love, but be careful of falling in love with people who don't know where they're going. Because if they don't know where they're going, how can they lead you? So,
thank you for that, Sion. Now, Sion, you painted quite a nice picture and gave great instruction on getting into. Now, let's talk about how the church is not staying in. The church is as guilty as the rest of the world of divorce rate. As a matter of fact, the church's divorce rate here in America at any point is a little bit higher than the secular rate. Did you know that? You're in Canada, so I don't know if it's...
yeah, the rate across the world is about 55% in the church and out of the church.
Okay. Okay, what is the it? If you were to say what the it is, on the, I know you can address the secular side, but more importantly, the church side, what is the it that is pulling couples apart? As people of God, why are we not staying together and remaining in marriage?
Well, you know, it's a great question, and I think the answer is so diverse. I think that you and I both know that society has changed. I mean, from the times of Adam to the times that we are today, times have changed. And just thinking in terms of today, we live in a microwave society. We want everything now. If it's not ready in 3 minutes, we want a refund. Nobody wants to put in the time. Nobody wants to work hard. But, you know, everyone wants to reap right away. But marriage is like an agricultural process. You've got to cultivate and sow and water and invest in it before you start reaping. Everybody wants to reap right away without investing. And so I think that's a mentality that has to change, and it's seen in the church as well.
Okay, is the church supportive enough of marriages?
You know, I would say yes, but I would want to break it down just a little bit, because when we speak of marriages, we're taking one word and we're bundling everything together. To me, when I think of a marriage, a healthy marriage needs to have, you know, good communication, conflict resolution skills, understanding your partner's styles and habits, and financial management, sexual expectations. And there's a whole list of things that goes with that. I think it can be a little bit unrealistic for the church to provide all of those things effectively. However, the church can play a key role in the aid of some of that, in either broaching the conversation or providing an environment where the conversation can take place. I feel, me personally, ultimately, I think that our homes are the starting places for the preparation of marriages. And I think the church can support that. But to have the notion that the church is primarily responsible for that could be setting people up for failure and disappointment, and the church for being incompetent.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you one final question. You said former pastor, but you're not a former pastor. Once you're a pastor, I just want you to know you always.
You know what I mean? I'm not behind the pulpit every Sunday.
Yeah, I'm just messing with this, Ian. This one question: if in trouble, who first? Do I go to mommy first? Do I go to pastor first? Do I go to my best friend first? Do I go to his best friend first, her best friend first? Who first? When the Christian marriage is in trouble, pastor, when the Christian marriage is in trouble, who first?
I think you go to somebody. My suggestion would be, keep family out of your business. You know, when you start going to mother-in-law and father-in-law and brother-in-law and cousin-in-law, it just complicates things. I think, you know, people are going to be biased, and your friends are going to take your side, and his family are going to take his side. So I always say, find someone that is neutral, and often in our community, one of the first places for that is the pastor. But if the pastor is connected to you, that might not be the best place for you. So I think you look for some place where it's safe, private, and confidential.
Neutral. Yes.
Safe, private, and confidential. A lot of times we don't reach out because we don't have the confidentiality when you go around family circles, because you tell Aunt Jane, and before you know it, the entire village knows everything that's going on. So it's important that we look for safe, private, and confidential. So if the pastor represents that, go to that. If a father or father-in-law represents that, go for it. But often my preference is to leave family out of your business, because they're often biased and they'll take sides.
Yeah. I'm so grateful for your presence here today, Sion Smith. Thank you so much. Thank you. And look here, this is me setting up Angela, right? And Boomer right now. I hope that you will come again. I hope that there's going to be a part.
I was about to say, Denise, you're in my head. I
really
definitely want you to come again.
Sion, look here. This is what I want, right? What I want. Yeah, I know we have the thing coming up that we mentioned in a little bit, Angela, but there must be a thing before, and then a 90-day checkup, and then like a 1-year checkup. You know what I mean?
Right.
Just
Definitely.
like when you carry the car and all the things, you test drive the car and all the things. But Sion Smith, grateful. I'm gonna leave behind the scenes to do whatever they need to do to make you happen again. Thank you.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
But stick around, Sion, because when it's question and answer time, I just feel that a lot of questions will probably come to you. So just stick around. Okay.
I'll be here. Thank you.
All right, so guys, up next we want to have upcoming author Jennifer Williams. Where's Miss Jen? Where's Miss Jenny first somewhere?
Hello,
okay, so
Miss Jenny is right here.
Hello, Auntie Jenny.
Hi.
So you're, of course, you're a Share magazine writer and you're an upcoming author. Let me just get into your business a little bit before. Is when the book coming? Or it come already?
No, it is still in the making.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm going to pray God's expedience on that, because something tells me that there's a lot to offer there. All right. So you had an article in Share Magazine's last contribution there. And we're not going to talk about the sparks. The question I want to ask you first is, why? What prompted you to write it? Where did it come from?
Okay, I wrote that article because I wanted, first of all, to do a book. And the title of the book would have been The Masked Man. Because in my own experience, I've noticed quite a bit of masking taking place. I've been in the church for almost 45 years. I mean, being a Christian, but prior to that, I have been in the church. So I've been around a lot of people. I've been married. I've been to a lot of weddings, and I've been to a lot of ceremonies, and in terms of like anniversaries and those things. And so I have seen, I have heard, I've experienced, and I've heard people say a lot of things about marriages, and they talk about the mask and the pretense and the facade and all of these things that come with marriage. And so I was really prompted, plus my own experience. I've experienced it myself. So out of these experiences, both for myself, what I hear, what I witness, and what I hear people say, I decided to do the article.
All right, bust the pot cover then now, Sister Jen. What is the secret? What is the secret? What is the mask hiding? Move the mask, remove the mask, and what is the church hiding?
The church is hiding a number of things. Sion did mention the fact that the first thing you need to do is go to an environment where it is safe and it is neutral, private, confidential, right? But I find sometimes, even within the church, we may not necessarily find that space and that environment that is being mentioned. And when I say that, I'm not talking about all the churches. Maybe Sion's church, where we pastored for a couple years, would have provided that. But my own experience is that we don't get that kind of thing within the church. We see a pretense, because sometimes what I find is that the pastors themselves, they don't know how to counsel. Sometimes they don't know how to relate and how to talk to people. So they send them home back in a domestic violence situation. Go and put the man a nice food. Go and wear a teddy, wear a nightie, go and do so and so. And you find that that does not work, Denise. It certainly does not work. I'm not sure if that answers your question.
So what I hear at the end part of what you just said resonated with me big time, Sister Jen, because a friend of mine had a situation where she was in an abusive marriage, and also the man was having an affair, and that was counsel from pastorship to go back to your husband, even though she went to them in fear. They go back to your husband and do everything you can to be a dutiful wife. So my question then is the church putting on more pressure on the woman to hold her marriage together than it is on the man?
Yes, Denise, I agree with that question. Yeah.
Yes, it does. Being a woman myself, I've experienced it. And also even friends of mine who are in marital relationships, they also experience it. And I've heard people say at times too that they do experience it. I remember in the early part of my marriage, I wasn't talking to a pastor or anything, but friends would say to me, and these are Christian friends, you need to buy a nice teddy, and you need to look sexy in the bed, and you need to do this, and you need to do that, and you need to do that. So there's a lot of pressure on the women to perform, to pretend, to become, I would call it a whore, as it were, in a marital situation, because you have to be sexy to attract the man. And so there's a lot of pressure on women to perform and to look good and to actually hold the marriage together. And the church does expect that as well.
Let me ask you this. Do you believe, I'm thinking of a verse, you see, now everybody will know that as big a Christian as I am not the person to, regurgitate scripture to you, but I know there's a little tips of something somewhere to the effect that women ought not to counsel men. Right, Pastor? No, so yes, there's a thing in there that says women are not to counsel men.
But the context wasn't in marriage, though.
Sister Jen, I want to take that thought about the separation of the sexes. When you were going through your situation, and as you observe other couples going through their situation, is there benefit to separating counseling in the sexes, as in woman counsel woman, man counsel man?
I think
Not
so.
necessarily. It depends on the competence of the person. It doesn't mean a woman is more competent to counsel another woman, and neither does it mean that it is more competent for a man. But initially, of course, maybe that can happen. But when it comes to bringing both man and woman together, husband